welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being here. This is the series where I read books and react to the film adaptations, and so today we are going to be finishing up Lord of the Rings with Return of the King, the third volume of Lord of the Rings. Return of the King in its extended edition form is 4 hours long. It's 4 hours, 1 minute, and 20 seconds? So it's really long, and then for the theatrical release, I think it's only around 3 hours, so there's there's 60 minutes of material that was added for the extended edition, which I guess is kind of fair, because since they did cut 40% of the Two Towers and then push it to Return of the King, Return of the King was going to be the longest of the three, because it had so much and it had to backtrack and cover a lot of things, which is fine because there are parts of Return of the King that I absolutely love. I'm glad that they expanded on the Rohirrim and stuff like that, in the beginning, and we kind of needed time to be able to get to know them just a little bit before Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli met them. And again, obviously there's a bunch of stuff that's cut out. A lot of it plays out pretty close, so yeah. Today, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Strap in, because I don't know how long this is gonna be, but it's gonna be long. He's looking so intently at that worm.
My precious.
I love this opening because, I don't know, it kind of gives you a false sense of security, because you see Andy Serkis, and if you know who Andy Serkis is in the film, after you take away all of the CGI, you know that this is Smeagol. If you didn't know that, Diggle says Smeagol. So you're supposed to be on track. So this whole time during the film, you're told that Gollum got the ring, but you never know how, and you've been told a little bit of its backstory. You've been told that he's a murderer, and so you're wondering, is that how he got the ring? Now you get to see just exactly how you got the ring. And so here, boom, bring back from the prologue, you realize that Diggle got the ring first, and that Smeagol took it from him by choking him to death. Oh wow. Oh god. Sorry. This is the first time I've ever actually seen these with headphones on, and the sound.
Oh god.
It's disgusting. No. The different stages of CGI in this is insane. I love this. Look at his eyes. His eyes are normal human eyes, and then he shuts them. Boom! They're Gollum's eyes. Okay, so from here on until I tell you, this is all the Two Towers. We have not gotten to the actual start of the book yet. Especially with Frodo and Sam. Frodo and Sam is going to take a while. Not so much for the rest of them, but Frodo and Sam is going to take a while before we actually get to Return of the King and the book. So the chapter that they're at in the Two Towers is the Stairs of Kerith Ungol? Is that how you pronounce it? It's an R, right? The Stairs of Kerith Ungol. Yes. That is where they're at. That's where Sam and Frodo are at right now in this film.
You go ahead and eat that.
Oh
my god.
Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I got a message from one of my friends that said that they were going to wrap their boyfriend's presents in this wallpaper. I'm gonna try to save it for you just in case if me trying to show you goes out the window, but it's Gollum. Just look at that face. He's got 5 gold rings. Oh my god. That is insane. I love it. I want her to send me a present with that wrapping paper. Sorry. We can go back to this now. So this whole thing obviously is in the book. It's when they go back through Fangorn right after whatchamacallit? Helm's Deep. Yeah, that. All of this, everything that happened with the trees, because you get the chapter of Treebeard and that's it. And then after Helm's Deep, you get a chapter called Flotsam and Jetsam, which I swear Disney had to have stolen from him whenever they named Ursula's pet eels after them. Anyway, the chapter Flotsam and Jetsam, it has Merry and Pippin tell the story of what happened with the Ents.
It was awesome.
Welcome, my lords,
To Isengard, we are sitting on a field of victory, enjoying a few well-earned comforts. Okay, so in the book, he's on a balcony, he's not all the way up there, but the main difference is all of this is extended edition. It was not put in the theatrical cut. Like, there was a little bit of this, but not all of it. Christopher Lee got really mad at Peter Jackson for cutting all of it from the theatrical cut because this shows the end of Sauron. Like, this gives his character an ending. Well, the only problem with it is that it's not how Sauron dies in the book, because in the book you find out that he was behind the scouring of the Shire and how he had all of his corrupted men go there and pretty much like colonize the Shire. When the hobbits start to fight back under the command of Merry and Pippin, which is great. So with the whole thing with Wormtongue, with him coming after Sauron and killing him the way that he did, it happens just like a hell of a lot later and in Hobbiton.
Hail the victorious dead.
Hail! I'm out of tea. No. No, don't drink from the cup. No. No.
Megan, stop!
You can drink the whole town dry, but you never find a beer so brown. What do we drink in our hometown? You keep your fancy ales. You can drink them by the flagon, but the only brew for the brave and true.
Pippin!
But the only brew for the brave and true comes from the Green Dragon. I've listened to Peter Hollins too much. So in the book, I don't even think they make it back to Edoras. That or I was not paying attention. I started listening to the audiobooks for this book, maybe about halfway through The Two Towers. So I could have been wrong. You know what I just noticed with this is that his eyes dilate. Look how pinpoint they are right now. And then look, they're dilated. There's another way that you can tell that they are two different people. I love their directing choices for him, of different ways of how you can show Gollum and Smeagol. It's so good. Okay, so there is some tension between Gollum, Smeagol, and Sam, but I don't think it ever really resorts to violence.
What time is it?
Time for you to get away from him.
That's what time it is.
If the beacons of Gondor are lit, Rohan must be ready for war.
Okay,
Tell me,
we'll get to the beacons in a minute.
why should we ride to the aid of those who did not come to ours?
Because you didn't ask. That's why. Theoden's stubbornness in this film has no ground. I like it in The Two Towers, but in this... Okay, so I don't know if any of this is actually into the appendices or not. I didn't read it, sorry. But for the book, just the book, there's never any mention of her actually going into the West. But I was glad that by the end of the book, Erwin actually spoke. Like, she had words. She did not have words when we were in Rivendell in the first book. She had no words. At least she got some words in the end.
From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadow shall spring. Renewed shall be blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king.
You know, I do like that they waited until the third book to like reforge the sword and bring it back to Aragorn and have him have it to try and get the people of the dead on his side. Because, you know, again, I've said it 1,000 times, you all know that the films have spoiled me for the books. But even if Aragorn was kind of all gung-ho going in, I don't know if I'd be prancing around the fact that you had this sword. I feel like that would be something that I would kind of like keep to myself. So I kind of like that they wait until the end to do that. It's one of those small changes that I like.
This was my choice. LOTR. whether by your will or not, there is no ship now that can bear me hence.
I mean, to be fair, you know, elves are allowed to choose mortal lives. He knows that. His brother did that. His brother chose to be mortal. So, I mean, it's sad that he's gonna lose his daughter, but...
That's what happens when you fall in love.
Okay... Right about in here.
Just into the realm of Gondor.
Yep, this is where the book starts. So this is the beginning of Return of the King from this point of view. Not from Frodo and Sam, because we still got a long way to go.
You are not alone in this fight. Send word to Theoden of Rohan.
Okay,
Light the beacons.
so, okay, we're back to the beacons. There's a change with the beacons, because when Gandalf and Pippin were going to, like, on their ride to Minas Tirith, the beacons were already being lit. Denethor already knew that Sauron's army was coming. He went ahead and asked for them to come, and, like, he knew that this was happening. He knew he needed help. He went ahead and asked for it. There's none of this struggle kind of thing about not wanting to ask for help and, like, refusing to light the beacons. Hey, look, it's Peach!
The Witch King of Angmar.
He's the one who stabbed Frodo. I always like this part because ever since the end of Fellowship, like, you've had these two roads, these two stories going on simultaneously, and you've never known exactly where the other was compared to each other. And so at this point, it finally shows this is where this line is, and this is where this line is. This is where they are at this exact same one moment. Now the timeline has been forged together. You're not all confused. Again, you know, the beacons were already lit while they were on their way to Minas Tirith, so this does not happen, but I'm all for showing off New Zealand. Look at the landscape! Look at those mountains! I'm telling you, all he wanted to do was show off his country, and that is absolutely okay.
It's so pretty.
The beacons of Minas Tirith.
The beacons are lit!
Beacons are lit.
God,
Knuckles parade.
there's like a little bit of tension because he had said, why should we go to theirs? But there was like no real debate, like they were gonna go.
Muster the Rohirrim.
Hey, that's the name of a chapter! He's so little. Take him. This is the part that really bothers me, is that he takes his sword, he's like, yes, I would absolutely love to take you and have you be a part of my company. But then he doesn't want to let him fight, and I'm like...
What?
Now is the hour! Riders of Rohan! Oaths you have taken! Now fulfill them all! To Lord and land!
Yeah, you do it, women of New Zealand!
Yeah!
Go, Gandalf, go! Use your wizard magic! Now, a lot of people think that this movie is the best movie, and I honestly think that the reason behind that is because this is a war film. This is not the other two. This book is the war book. This is the war film. I think that's why most people think that it's the best, is because it has to deal with war. That's just my guess. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what the difference is between the book and the film. It's because he's such a dick. He doesn't give a shit about Faramir, and then he's all like,
Oh, my line is ended. I must go burn him.
and he doesn't even for a moment sit down and look at the fact that he is
Breathing.
Denethor makes me mad. I don't like him. And then you get to this part where it's like, he is a bit tragic. He's a bit tragic of a character. You go from hating him, and then you sympathize with him, and you're like, oh, it's tragic. But then he doesn't give a shit anymore, and you're like, God damn it, I hate you. I hate you so much.
You.
Honestly, I guarantee you, if he had went back, got Osgiliath, and came back in one piece, his father would still find something to bicker and complain about. It's because he's shit, Dad. He's so bad.
He's a dick.
Okay, here with the crumbs. It's not a thing. It's not in the book. When you start to get closer to Shelob's lair, in the book, Sam and Frodo both go in at the same time. They somehow get separated in the whole thing, so instead of having them go in and being separated during that portion, they can just solely focus on Frodo, so it's easier to get Sam out of the way, with there being a reason as to why he's not there at the time. So I get it. I get why they kind of did this little thing right here where they could have Sam not be there the entire time during Shelob's attack and stuff, but it was a bit much. They made Sam a little violent, and I don't know if I like that.
I could help a bit. I could carry it for a while. Carry it for a while.
I can't remember if he ever asks that.
Share the load.
I think he asks about carrying it much later, but not during this part, but I don't remember.
See, he wants it for himself.
Shut up, you! Go away! Get out of here!
No, Sam. It's you.
But again, like I said, I understand why they wanted to force them apart, and it is very powerful to do it this way, violence aside. Honestly, if they're gonna make Sam violent, he should have just let him kill Smeagol. Just, you die! But then that would take away from what happens in the book. And that also is a little different, and I prefer the way that the film does it. This is like the most poignant battle in the entire film. Like, they don't have enough men. They know they're gonna lose, and I love how it is stacked with this song. See, I think Pippin sings this song much like earlier in the book.
Through shadow, to the edge of night.
Oh, it's so good. Just the battle going and then having it being juxtaposed by him eating, and then the blood like the tomato juice coming out like blood, and Billy Boyle's vocals is just, oh, it's so good. It's the most poignant thing. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Again, this does not happen in the book, but I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. I like that the sword doesn't get there until much later. I don't know, it kind of just makes sense from this point. I get it. I like it.
It is but a shadow and a thought that you love. I cannot give you what you seek.
Yeah! We don't want you! I love you, but not with him! Finally! We have finally reached the point where he says, F*** off! Go away! You've been barking up the wrong tree this whole time.
Stop it!
It only took a film and a half-ish.
Jesus.
The difference here between this and in the book is that, you know, Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas, they do go to the mountains of the dead or whatever, but it's like the whole company of the Dunedain, everyone that came from the Northern Kingdom came down and went with him. So there was a lot more people rather than just the three of them, but you don't have to hire extras or anything, so it's fine.
Little hobbits do not belong in war, Master Meriadoc.
See?
All my friends have gone to battle. I would be ashamed to be left behind.
Yeah.
3-day gallop to Minas Tirith, and none of my riders can bear you as a burden.
I want to fight.
I will say no more.
That was the whole point of him giving you his sword and asking to fight, and you took it, and then you tell him no. Why?
Why you do this?
Ride with me. My lady.
Okay, so in the book, someone picked him up, but he did not register who in the hell it was. I don't remember her name, but she was like, just call me this. For like 3 days, and the whole thing, he never knew who it was. That to me makes no sense. I love gems like these. Look, I know Gimli kind of got like pushed off to the side as more of a comic relief. In this instance, I really don't care because it's funny. They're unnecessary gems, but gems all the same. Yep, there's the ships. This is when you know that it is hopeless. Like, this is hopeless. You have absolutely no hope of getting through. except I hate this scene.
We fight.
Like, for the extended edition, I guess it's okay, but I'm glad it was cut out of the theatrical release because it really takes away the suspense of whether or not they would actually fight. Like, I don't need you to tell me that you're gonna fight. I just need you to show up. That's all that really matters.
Legolas, fire a warning shot past the bosun's ear.
Don't miss.
Mind your aim.
Oh, no, there goes Peach. He's dead now. He was in Bree, then he was at the Battle of Helm's Deep on the right side, and then he switched sides, and now he's dead. Whoops. Yeah, I'm okay with the fact that it's just Frodo that's in there, because it allows you to just focus on one person, and you don't even really have to worry about Sam at this moment. You know, I am honestly really surprised that he did not fall all the way down those steps, because I know if I lost my footing, bye!
I give you the light of Erendir, our most beloved star. May it be a light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
I enjoyed reading this part because he says in the book that he had absolutely no idea what he was saying. He just said something and it came to light. I was like, that's interesting.
Alright.
That's not, it doesn't rhyme. See, again, in the book, Mary had no idea that it was her. And I find that weird.
Many who love you.
Yeah, like, why couldn't she have been with Pippin? That would have been great. I would have been okay with that. I would have been totally okay if those two had gotten together. Okay, so I should probably tell you that by about halfway through The Two Towers, I started listening to the audiobook. The way that they did this audiobook is they used the music that Shore created for all these films in it, and they used like sound effects and stuff. Like you can hear chatter and you can hear the horses galloping and stuff, and oh
my god.
When it got to this, I thought this was emotional with all of the music. It is nothing compared to how the audiobook does it. Oh my god, I'm starting to get chills already. Seriously, if you've never listened to the audiobook of this, you should. It is so good. He does his whole speech and he's got the Ride of the Rohirrim in the background and it says, oh!
Oh!
I cried. I shed literal tears. It was so emotional.
Shields shall be splintered! A sword day! A red day! And the sun rises!
Oh god! It's so good! And they all know that they're basically riding to their death. I said this was the war film for a reason.
Ride for ruin! And the world's ending! Death!
Yeah! Oh god, I got chills! Oh, the score! Oh, it's literally one of my favorite parts of the whole film. You know, watching this, I always thought it was batshit, but this is what happens. Except, there's an exception. He's fucking alive. So, I think in the book, he just jumps onto the table, and then he just burns to death. And then this does not happen.
Son of Ecthelion.
Because Gandalf just shuts the door. He does not run and pitch himself off in the front of Minas Tirith. Like, it's a beautiful shot and it's a great transition, but that does not happen. I'm pretty sure he would have been dead before he got there. Okay, while I was reading it, I really didn't get the sense that the Oliphants were there because they were never directly said. I may have missed it, but Jesus. Those things just like clean swept. Ooh! Jesus! Get him, Aemir! Ooh! Ooh! Yeah! Yes! I'd like to see you try that, Legolas!
There's plenty for the both of us.
May the best dwarf win. See, this is why I say I don't like the scene where the ghosts say that they fight, because in the theatrical cut it's a lot better whenever this part happens and you see that they are gonna fight and you're just like, yes!
You fool. No man can kill me.
I am no man.
I love how Tolkien does this in the book. It's the whole Macbeth theory thing, where no man born of a woman could kill them, but instead of it being a man being born through cesarean sections, I love how it's actually a woman who does it. It makes it so much better, and I absolutely love it. Granted, she had a little bit of help from Pippin, and that's fine, but it's just, she's got this epic moment, and then her character goes like this. I mean, she did the one thing she set out to do, so I guess I gotta be satisfied with that. Yeah, go ahead, Legolas. Let me see what you can do. Éomer took down 2 of them. What can you do?
That still only counts as 1.
And it does, because Éomer took down 2.
Just saying, I think Éomer wins this one.
I know your face.
I'm going to save you.
Like, it's so good, because he has more of an established relationship with her than he does with Éomer. You can feel his pain. Oh, I feel your pain, Carl. I feel it. Okay, so all of this is extended edition stuff. It's in the book. It got cut for the theatrical release, and I get it. There's a lot of stuff that happens after the Battle of Pelennor Fields that is cut. All of her stuff is cut. Yeah, the House of Healing, which is where she's at. It's her and Faramir get a little cozy together. It's weird because it's just like, yeah, that's it. That's who she's in with. And you're like, you don't get to spend any time with them together at all. But unfortunately, this is what happens to Éomer's character. She says, I stand in Minas Tirith in the Tower of the Sun, she said, and behold, the shadow has departed. I will be a shield maiden no longer, nor vie with the great riders, nor take joy only in the songs of slaying. I will be a healer, and love all things that grow and are not barren. And again, she looked at Faramir. No longer do I desire to be a queen, she said. So let's just revert her back to 1950s housewife. I mean, oh God. Remember, this is also a product of its time. Okay, so This is where Sam and Frodo finally start in Return of the King, and it's been 2 hours and 57 minutes. But all of this is not actually in the book, because when this section starts, it's all from Sam's point of view. And so Sam takes the ring, he wears it around his neck, he actually even puts it on, which makes no sense at all, because you're in Mount Doom. Why the hell would you put on the ring when the eye is like right there? He can sense it. He can look and he can see you. Sam has the ring and he puts it on and he can actually like feel the burden of it. And whenever he finds Frodo and he takes it off and he gives it back to him, he can feel that he's been released from all of the burden.
Give me the ring.
And he does actually struggle with it too in the book. He really doesn't know if he can even let it go. That's pretty much what you miss. I mean, it's long. The Tower of Cirith Ungol takes a good while to go through. And then they walk across the Land of Shadow forever. At this point, we're like, we gotta pick up the pace. We gotta go.
Frodo has passed beyond my sight. The darkness is deepening.
If Sauron had the ring, we would know it.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, Gandalf at this point is pretty much just given up.
Draw out Sauron's armies. Empty his lands. Then we gather our full strength and march on the Black Gate. Keep him blind to all else that moves. A diversion.
No shit.
Long have you hunted me. Long have I eluded you.
See, and like, now it comes full circle. He's like, boom, bitch, I am gonna get you. Again, I've been ruined for the films. The thing is like, even if she did die, at this point, that would give him nothing to lose. All Sauron did was like, make him go for it. Because everyone that's going knows that they ain't got nothing else to lose.
There'll be none left for the return journey. I don't think there will be a return journey, Mr. Frodo.
See, you get to this point and like Sam's gotten to the point where he realizes that this is the end. Because Sam was always talking about keeping everything for the return journey. And Frodo was telling him that, you know, we're probably not coming back. And then they switch. But then again, I still think Frodo is a little pessimistic about the future. Okay, so Merry's not supposed to be there. Merry was extremely injured after the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and he was laying up at the hospital, and they would not let him go. He begged, but they wouldn't let him.
My master, Sauron the Great, bids thee welcome.
Ew.
This is gross, and in the audiobook that I listened to, it's also gross and disturbing. I don't know why, but every time I look at it, I think it's Marilyn Manson, and I know it's wrong. But that's what I think. Look, just look at that. That's disgusting.
I thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
I could do that.
Their relationship may not have been fleshed out like it is in the book, but if that doesn't make up for it, I don't know what does.
Then let us be rid of it. Once and for all. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
That is what makes Sam the hero. It's not Frodo, it is Sam. Sam is the hero of Lord of the Rings. Through sheer determination and will, he would not let his best friend falter. You're wrong otherwise. So, obviously, like I said, Merry is not in this. He's actually still in Minas Tirith, and then Pippin's in it, but like 5 minutes after it starts, he gets knocked out. He hears something about eagles, and then he's like out. He kind of pulls a Bilbo, and he's like not there for most of it. But luckily, we have other characters that we get to know their point of view, so. Yeah, most of this is all told from Sam's point of view in the book. I think he gets knocked out by a rock. And before you start harping on about why weren't the eagles there the entire time, they got shit to do, okay? Leave the eagles alone.
The ring is mine.
It's like the biggest plot twist ever. It's so good. To get that far and then to it all go for nothing, it's insane. See? Look, he looks. That would just make sense. Ah! Did you know that you can bite through your own finger as easily as you can bite into a carrot? But your brain tells you not to, which is why you can't actually bite off your fingers.
Kinda gross.
Okay, so this is the part that's a little different, because Gollum is like dancing right there. He's like, yes, I got it. And in the book, he just trips and falls into the fire, into the lava. Whereas here, they both go over. And that's intense. That's an intense moment, especially for people who have never, ever read the books. Like, you honestly think that they're both gonna go over and die. And then even when if you have read the books and you see it for the first time and you're sitting there going, oh shit, are they gonna change the end? It's a very suspenseful moment. I love it. Your hand's all sweaty.
Sorry, that's Harry Potter.
If his arms were out like this, it'd be like watching the Hunger Games all over again. Sorry. There's a reason why he crowns Aragorn, because he's above all of it. So, I guess he's like the Archbishop of Canterbury, or the Pope, or something, I don't know. Aragorn looks so weird in like really nice and clean clothes. It's very strange. Oh, God, look! She didn't die! She was never gonna die, but okay. Her hiding and holding that flag is just funny. I hope she okay. I forgot that he moves the flag. I thought she was just gonna like go and it's gonna hit somebody. movies 1,000 times. I don't know why I didn't notice it before. He just attacks her face. Yeah, there was like this whole big deal about, because Frodo wants to hurry up and go home, but there's like this whole big deal that they have to wait until he's crowned, and everybody proceeds to come over, and even Eowyn tells Faramir like she won't marry him until she goes home and puts Theoden to rest and all that. And they're there for like a month, at least a month, before they even start their journey back.
My friends, you bow to no one.
See? Even you small, insignificant little person. You can change the course of the future. I still can't say it with a straight face. No, wait, go back. Sorry, I had to go back. Look at them. Merry, Frodo, and Sam are like, what the fuck? And Pippin's like, yep, bow down to me, servants. This is my moment. You all are beneath me, you peasants. Okay, now, from here, it cuts. Now, there's like a whole chapter. There's actually 2 chapters that are missing. There's a whole chapter where they leave Minas Tirith and they go all the way back to Rohan and they put Theoden to rest and all this, and then they travel all the way back to Rivendell and he sees Bilbo again, and then they travel all the way to Bree and then they stay, and then that's when they hear about what's happened in the Shire, and then they get back to the Shire and they like revolt. You have hobbits that are revolting against these men who were under Saruman's command, and they pretty much like overthrew their men overlords, and it's, as much as I would have loved to have seen it, I think it's a nice charm that it's in this and you actually get to see the hobbits, because I think Frodo is like 100% against killing. Sam's not, you know, he's not above it, but and Merry and Pippin are like the soldiers. They have become the soldiers that they have been on this journey. I think they have one of like the most completed arc and the most changed arc. I like it. It's cool. But I get it, you know, they kind of gotta wrap it up. This movie already has enough endings. The book has more. It's a lot. In the book, it's a little different because Merry and Pippin don't go with them. Sam goes with Frodo, but Merry and Pippin don't. But they ride up on ponies anyway, pissed off. They're like, you didn't think you were gonna leave without saying goodbye to us, did you? Well, that is the end of this journey. We have finished Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. That wraps up the whole trilogy, the whole actual book. Obviously, I probably left something out. If I did, let me know in the comments. I'm sure I forgot something. It would not shock me if I forgot a bunch of things. On the whole, they're really, really good adaptations. I think Peter Jackson cut at the right spot. You know, he didn't leave anything linger too long. He didn't, well, that's a lie. Sam drowned for a while there. That was a bit much. Are they the perfect adaptations? No, nothing ever is. What Peter Jackson did, it's a passion project. You can honestly tell that it's a passion project of his. They're not perfect, but they are pretty damn close, and they're definitely the best that we're going to get. But yeah. That is the final read and react for Lord of the Rings. Let me know how you liked it in the comments. If you liked this entire series so far, let me know. I want to try to keep doing this. Next is going to be Harry Potter. If there is any book that you would like me to read and then react to the adaptation, let me know down below. I know someone's already suggested The Hobbit, and I'll get to that. I've been told that there are extended editions of The Hobbit that I've never seen. That's going to be interesting, being that there was already so much put into The Hobbit. I did read The Hobbit earlier at the beginning of October, so I can definitely get through those. But yes, there are a couple on my list after the Harry Potter series that I plan to do. Again, guys, thank you so much for the response and the feedback from these. I'm glad that this is something that I can do. Most people do react videos because they've never seen them before. I've seen several of those, especially for Lord of the Rings, and it still baffles me to this day that there are people out there that's never seen them. But unfortunately, I know some of those people personally, so I can't judge them that hard, I guess. I'm glad you guys like this series. Definitely let me know if you like it. If there's anything that you'd like me to read and react to the adaptation, let me know. It's been fun doing this. Obviously, I've been trying to trial and error and see how this is going, but I really enjoy it. So I guess there's nothing else left to say, but bye-bye!